So let's try to draw some more cards. Really not a lot going on here. Let's pitch this hand away. So we do find the energy here. So even though we're not able to fully attack, like we can go ahead, switch. We're gonna go knockout here with Pain Explosion. So we're just absolutely destroying this Mew VMAX deck. You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it. Yo, what's poppin' peeps? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be going over Gengar VMAX. Y'all know how much I love Gengar VMAX and how much I really like to grow this deck as an archetype. That being said, we are going to be covering my most updated list and showing you some awesome gameplay with this deck, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into this video. So Gengar VMAX is a deck that a lot of players have not necessarily got a chance to try yet, because there's a lot of other decks that people want to play. I know that Single Strike Urshifu VMAX and Umbreon VMAX has seen a lot of success, and that might be the more dominant Single Strike variant, but I think there's a lot of room for Gengar in this particular format. So when it comes to playing a different deck, we got to look at reasons why we play it. Well, Mew VMAX is the best deck in formats. I don't think anyone would ever deny that. It's seen the most success. It's the most oppressive dominant deck. This deck should be able to beat it because Fear and Panic would hit it hard. They have a lot of Pokemon V in play, and there's Gmax Swallow Up doing 250 damage. So we have a lot of ways to knock out other VMAX decks, knock out Mew VMAX decks, as long as we avoid Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, and to some degree Single Strike Urshifu VMAX, we should be good. I have cut the Umbreon line from this deck because I don't think you necessarily need it. If you are playing against a fighting type deck that is a stage 2 Pokemon or stage 1 if you're playing against a fighting type deck, you might want to use Gengar V. Scale your prize cards down when you play against those decks. You either attack with Gengar V or even attack with Houndoom if you're able to knock out your opponent's Pokemon to kind of keep the pace of prize cards on control. Otherwise, you could attack with Gengar VMAX to knock out those decks. I think Cram-o-matic with Battle VIP Pass is great to get out your Houndours ASAP, because all you need to do is really get set up with Fear and Panic ASAP for 2 energies, and you're able to do a lot of things. We have access to 4 Hiding Darkness energies to kind of get free retreat around. Like, we have a lot of good things going on with this deck. So this is my current take of the deck. Hopefully everyone enjoys it. Relatively simple. We're just using Single Strike Roar to power up Gengar VMAX and using Fear and Panic or Gmax Swallow Up however things arise. Everything else is just built to get around that Turbo Houndour start and get set up. So let's jump into some gameplay and see exactly what we have going on. So we're going to start off this game by going second. We lost the coin flip. That's completely fine. I feel like whenever that happens, your opponent's got to kick you with the Crobat start, right? Like, does anyone else feel like that when you're playing Pokemon and you're like, I'm going second and I started with Crobat, and you're like, why am I playing this game out? But we'll see exactly how it goes. We are playing against a Mew deck, so really it doesn't matter what Pokemon we had up in the active spot. They're likely we're going to try to knock us out anyways. Is the best way that I kind of deal with it. So they might be a little bit upset to find out we are playing a Gengar deck. Our goal here is to actually hope that our opponent plays a full bench down so that Zinnia's is busted. A lot of players don't necessarily play this card. I think Zinnia's is an incredibly underrated supporter when it comes to this particular format. So let's go ahead and we don't need too much to get set up here. Let's go Cram-o-matic, starting things off with discarding our Evolution Incense. If we get a Battle VIP Pass, we're absolutely chilling, so that's a good start. Battle VIP Pass. We don't need too much to go here. We really need to get a... We're going to go for a Houndour, and we're going to go for a Gengar, I think sounds really good. I don't think our opponent's necessarily going to go after one or the other, so I think that seems pretty good. Let's go ahead and go Zinnia's Resolve. We could still draw some more cards here, right? Like, we have opportunities. Let's discard a couple of these energies. So we have access to some more things. I mean, so far, so good. I think like we're almost good to keep it at this current hands. I don't know what I'd want to be doing otherwise. So I think I'm going to go ahead here and go Hiding Darkness energy onto this Crobat. If our opponent brings up anything else, we have more ways to get out of it than not. I'm just debating if I even want to attach the energy. I think I do attach the energy. So we'll take the 20 damage. Our opponent is either knocking us out or they're not knocking us out. I think we're in a prime position to knock out our opponent's deck. So they had a bit of an awkward start. We'll feed them a Houndour because, again, like, you got to understand, like, we need 2 energies to get into a Gengar VMAX. Especially if our opponent puts down some bench Pokemon. So I think we're in a pretty good spot. They're going to grab a Genesect. They have 2 Pokemon out there. Like, it's going to work out. They're probably going to bench another Genesect too if they get one. And if they don't really get anything off these 3 cards hand, they're not getting a knockout anyways. So if Mew gets a slow start, we're able to destroy Mew. If Mew gets a fast start, we're still likely able to destroy Mew. We're talking about a game that I started with a Crobat V going second against Mew, and I still have a fighting chance to win. That's something that you just don't see in these Pokemon tournaments. They're probably going to grab another Mew here, or maybe just a Psychic Energy and get a freebie knockout. See what our opponent... They're looking for a Genesect here to draw more cards. Okay. So there's their Meloetta. They're going to be dealing with pretty much a no-card hand. That's fine if they knock us out. We can knock them out with a Crobat here as well. That's totally a valid choice. And we did top deck a Professor's Research. So you want to know what? I feel really good about this particular hand. We could decide to go get lucky with Cram-o-matic. There's nothing that I'm really looking for beyond just another basic Pokemon. So let's go for another Houndour so we have access to those. We are trying to draw into an energy, so we want to use Single Strike Roar after the Professor's Research. If we used it before, that's taking an energy out of our deck, so it would give us less chance of getting one. So think about how you're sequencing these cards. When you're going through your deck, you can see that we have access to the energy now. We could go Gengar VMAX as well. I think that sounds like a good call. I don't think our opponent's going to knock out the Gengar VMAX. So there's that. There's that. And I mean, when it comes to other things, we could totally just go Quick Ball, discard this. We don't really need too much else going on here. I'm going to grab a Gengar. We're going to take 1 prize card here this turn. So even though we're not playing against a V Pokemon, we are able to use Fear and Panic. So we are going to go Tower of Darkness here as well. So yeah, our opponent fully set up. We're set up now. We're going to go Fear and Panic, knock out our opponent's Meloetta. We were able to get that attack off. And it's just a really good way to start this game off. I think it's a really great way to start this game off. Another Houndour, certainly not bad. I think we're chilling because we did take away our opponents out to not having access to an energy from Training Courts. Oh, and they're just trying to draw a few extra cards. Like, this is really not the turn where they knock out the Gengar VMAX. Oh, they're gonna go Dyna Barrier? What? Once during your turn. Prevent from their Pokemon VMAX. So that's really important to note that it's from VMAX Pokemon, not Pokemon V. So let's go Single Strike Roar onto our Gengar. We have ways to get out of this. And I am going to go for Tower of Darkness first before we do anything else. I think that sounds incredibly important. I am going to go Quick Ball here. We can totally try and draw more cards as well. So let's go. We could have actually discarded the Mew and given ourselves another access to Cram-o-matic. So let's try to draw some more cards. Really not a lot going on here. Let's pitch this hand away. So we do find the energy here. So even though we're not able to fully attack, like, we can go ahead, switch. We're going to go knockout here with Pain Explosion. So we're just absolutely destroying this Mew VMAX deck. You can see that they're just going to concede that game there. Like, our deck does well against Mew. It does really well against Mew. So let's see how this one goes. We lost the coin flip again, but that's okay. We'll see what we're playing against and how our opponent really reacts to this. I'm assuming that almost every single deck is going to be going first. And again, of course, we just have to start with Crobats. I mean, it's one of those things where it's fine. Looks like our opponent's probably playing Turbo Victini. I could see this being a pretty good matchup in general. So let's see how that works out. So let's see what our opponent does here. I mean, I think they're just taking some time. Oh, okay, cool. They just mulliganed 8 times. It's really interesting. Yeah, no need to. That's kind of surprising. Our opponent mulliganing 8 times. So we'll just get set up as much as possible with this. because they don't have a lot of HP. We are able to knock them out. Let's try to get a Battle VIP Pass going off here. So we can discard one of our Evolution Incenses. Let's try to make that happen again. We'll discard another Evolution Incense. So now we can grab the Battle VIP Pass. We are able to get set up with that. Battle VIP Pass, we're going to grab a couple Houndour. You can see that we have access to other Houndour. Gengar. We have access to an energy with our Gengar. We don't really worry about their abilities too much for Path to the Peak, so we can play Tower of Darkness. I also don't care about boss's orders too much, so let's go ahead, pitch this away for another Gengar in case they knock out our first one. And let's go for, before we do anything else, we could pitch that first and see. At this point, I'm not going to play the research because we have access to Houndoom, another Houndoom, and we're going to go pass here. Yeah, the reason why the Victini deck is mulliganing so much is that they have access to very limited basic Pokemon. They quite often only play 4. The Crushing Hammers don't matter because we have Urn of Vitality to really get set up. So again, I'm not super worried about what's going to be happening here. The fact that they're knocking out one of our Pokemon means that we are likely just able to evolve into a Gengar VMAX and get a knockout on that Pokemon. So Gengar VMAX is quite an aggressive deck as well, very similar to Victini. That if they just got a knockout here, we might be able to knock them back in response. So let's see what our opponent decides to do here. Okay, they're gonna go Kabu. So I think like that seems like a strong play from our opponent, is just getting out that Kabu, making sure that everything's going well for them. And yeah, I think right now we're okay. So we're just waiting on what our opponent's doing here. Victini doesn't really have that many aspects. I mean, I guess you're like, well, can Zach knock us out with GMAX swallow up? I guess so. Let's put down a Victini, I guess. So we'll see how that plays out for us. It sucks that we had to discard so many of our Evolution Incense, but right now I think we're doing okay. So let's send up our Gengar V. I think that sounds like the correct play here. Just because we're likely to attack this turn, and I was really hoping we'd find some way around what our opponent was going to be doing. If worst comes to worst, we could go for Dark Slumber, which would be difficult for us to deal with. I think we actually probably want to go for the Gengar VMAX and hope we have a lesser chance of getting a Gengar VMAX than we do of getting a Houndoom. So let's go ahead, Gengar VMAX it up, do this. We still have access to a Crobat in the deck, so I don't want to put anything else down, because I think we win the game if we are able to get set up. Let's go with Tower of Darkness first. That does give us an energy, so we can attack for, I mean, the energy doesn't really matter for us at all. We are looking to kind of get a single strike energy and a Houndoom or double Houndoom. So let's go Professor's Research here, see what we get. Kind of awkward. Let's go for Quick Ball away. Doesn't really matter what we Quick Ball away, unless of course we Quick Balled away a single strike, but that's literally a card that we were looking for. Let's pitch away an Urn of Vitality. We are gonna grab our other Crobats. So we're still looking for a way to get another Houndoom in order to like kind of make our way through this game. And we gotta get a Houndoom off the top 2 cards of our deck to get the knockouts. So we didn't get there, but we are able to go Fear and Panic. This game is probably just over because we're like having a really slow start. So it's not good for us at all. And I mean, that's going to be fine too. Like, your deck can fail to set up and it's fine. Gengar is really designed to beat Mew, and it can beat Jolteon. And I mean, if we had a little bit of a better setup, regardless of whatever happened earlier on in the game, our opponent had a quick setup that kind of set us differently. I don't know why they decided to bring that up. I mean, maybe they're just trying to go boss's orders. I think it would have been much better to maybe attack. Maybe it's giving them one less turn. The Crobat's just chilling there. So we'll see how it works out for us. Right now, we're doing the knockout for 120. Plus, yeah, so we are getting the knockout here. Let's just get set up here. Let's go to Single Strike Roar. There's no reason for us not to. let's go for, if they bring up anything else, they're probably not. So let's attach an extra energy just so we're all good. Our opponent probably made that play knowing that they had a bosses in hand. So let's go ahead and Marnie them away just in case of anything else. Like, we still got a chance in this game with the way that our opponent made that play. So they need to have an energy boss or energy catcher to bring up the Crobat to win the game. And we're going to go ahead and Fear and Panic because we're in a really good spot. So we're going to go Fear and Panic, Knockout. We do have access to knocking them out with GMAX Swallow Up the following turn. And that's really where I think that's going to work out for us. And if it does work out for us, we're cool. They have 330, so we need to get our other single strike energy. Please don't have the... Oh, we need to get more than that now. That's actually so unfortunate because our opponent has double fire energy, or like they have 350 HP now, and we have no way to deal with that. So what a top deck on their behalf. Another Victini. I don't think the other Victini really matters for them, to be honest, unless they're trying to get a card out of their hand and play a Kabu, or just really try to draw cards with the Pokegear. If they got a boss, they just win the game. Yeah, I don't think we're in an incredibly good spot. I'd like to get out a Gengar V and maybe make them asleep this following turn. I think that might be the wave. Because again, we're only able to do 310 this upcoming turn. Uh-oh, the Pokemon catchers. This is where things start coming out. So the Victini VMAX does have a lot of RNG in it. There's catchers, there's hammers, there's Path to the Peak that can disrupt you. They have a lot of cool things that can do a lot, but right now we'll just try to get set up. So let's go ahead here and quick ball away this. We don't need access to that right now. We don't have access to another Gengar. So I think we're gonna actually have to attack with a Houndoom first. We do have enough energies to make that happen. So let's go for Cram-o-matic away anything. Probably just another Cram-o-matic. We are going to go ahead here and go single strike roar onto our Houndoom here. And we're going to go ahead and play Marnie. If our opponent doesn't have a boss, we're good. If they do, we're not good. We did get the Hiding Darkness that we needed to make things happen. So let's go for Hiding Darkness energy. We're going to go totally retreat here, and we're going to attack with the Houndoom. So this is going to take care of the extra buff that they had from there. If they do not win the game this turn, we win the game the next turn. But otherwise, we've exhausted all of our opportunities, and they're a max victory away from winning the game with either Pokemon Catcher or Boss's orders. Now, yeah, so they got it. There's nothing that we could have done there. Beyond that, we just got a little bit of a rough setup. And that's what we got going on for Gengar VMAX today. Some games are going to absolutely find ways to body Mew VMAX, as I easily showed how that could happen in this video. In other ways, you're going to struggle against a deck that's running a little bit hot like any other deck. That being said, I think Gengar VMAX is a valid deck choice in this format. It's probably positioned a little bit too lowly in the top 20. I think this deck is probably within the middle tier of the top 10s now that the format's kind of settled. But that being said, it does get bodied by Rapid Strike Urshifu. So if there are quite a few of those, it can be a little bit rough. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching this video. Again, the list is in the description. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great day. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.